everyone, welcome to this episode of Cooking with Coastline. So today we're going to be focusing on Thanksgiving sides. So what I will be doing today is a butternut squash and cauliflower casserole.
And I'm going to be doing a cranberry orange quinoa salad. So I'm really excited to show you guys that.
Sounds really, really good. Both dishes very, very healthy. So what I did was, so we cut our butternut squash and we took out the insides here and then took the skin off and then cubed it. You need about 4 cups or so of the butternut squash. And then we took 1 large head of cauliflower and cut that up. But all we did was put these in the microwave. And we also put about 4 cloves of garlic in there as well. You don't need to chop it up or anything because it's actually all going to go right into the food processor. Okay, so these are all steamed and ready to go. So I'm just going to start putting this in here. Okay, so good. I love butternut squash this time of year. Oh, I just love it.
It's so colorful too.
It's colorful, it's so healthy. You're getting vitamin A, vitamin C, all that good stuff. So if you find that you don't have enough room in your food processor, that's okay. You can always do another batch after that. So what we're trying to do, so you have about a half a cup of milk that you put in here. The original recipe asked for cream, but again, I'm always trying to do a little bit of a healthier spin on the recipe. So, and I didn't have any cream at home, so all I did was use some milk. You can use 1% milk or skim milk. So you're cutting back on some of the fat and the calories. Okay, so I'm just gonna pulse this. Yep. And you want it to get to that puree mixture. Almost there. And again, you don't have to do, if you probably could do it in the NutriBullet. I'm thinking we're going to be using the NutriBullet a little bit later.
Oh yeah, definitely could do, especially if you want to do a smaller portion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't have to do a huge amount like what we're doing right now. But again, we're keeping in the mind of Thanksgiving and,
Yeah.
Some of us have a lot of hungry mouths to feed, so that'll be good. Yeah. Pulse it, do a little bit of pulsing here. Okay. Cooking is an art, isn't it, Jess?
Oh yes, it is.
It most certainly is. Okay. Yeah, but it's getting creamy, it's getting good, it's getting to that consistency that I'm looking for. And what I liked about this recipe was that it was a different way to cook butternut squash. Because normally I'll just roast it in the oven, maybe put a little bit of brown sugar, some salt, some pepper. But cooking it like this, I thought it was a really, really unique and interesting way to go about it.
Yeah, definitely a healthier alternative rather than the brown sugar and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And and the recipe calls for a lot more Parmesan cheese than what I put in there. But that's okay. I like to decrease it just a little bit. Okay, let's see here. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start scooping a little bit of it out. And just actually, there's a little bit of milk in the fridge, if you wouldn't mind getting me some. Okay, just scooping just a little bit out for right now. Yep. There you go. And that's the thing with recipes. Sometimes you find that you need more of something. You can always add, but you can never take away, right? Okay. I'm going to add just a little bit more milk in here. Okay. And that will help give it more of a creamy texture. Okay. There we go.
There we go. Much better.
Much better. Do you do any cooking for Thanksgiving?
I actually help my mom with those sides and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever she makes that she needs a little help, then I'll help do. I like to do the prep work.
Yeah.
All the cutting and the peeling. Like the potatoes, definitely always peeling potatoes for the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's really big with my family. It's a really nice holiday. So everyone gets together. There's no gifts or anything. It's just about being together as a family. So
Right.
one of my favorite holidays.
Awesome.
How's it looking over there?
It's going good. It looks good.
Perfect.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm just going to transfer this over now. Okay.
Do you want that other bowl, or are you going to put it right in there?
You know, I'll just put it right in the pie.
Okay.
Why not? Put that in there. All right, I have a couple of things in here. A couple of little big pieces, but you know, I'll save that for later. Okay. So I'm just gonna pour this right into here.
You can really start to smell that garlic
Yeah,
now.
I know. And if you want more garlic, you can do it to taste, you know. Okay. Yeah, so it's really creamy. And you know, you can add a little bit of big chunks in there. I left a couple of chunks just because sometimes it's nice to have a little bit more texture in there. Okay.
It's almost could be like a mashed potato alternative.
I know.
I mean, everybody loves mashed potatoes, but if you're trying to stay
Yeah.
healthy, it's a great alternative. You have your cauliflower in there, you have your squash, you have your garlic, so it's almost it smells like garlic mashed potatoes. So.
It does. It does. I
Yeah,
know
a
it
little
almost
cheese
looks
to
like
it.
mashed potatoes, but you know, you're getting a lot of vitamin A. You're getting a lot of vitamin C in there, and the cauliflower too has vitamin K. You know, so there's a lot of different nutrients that you're getting, and not just a particular mashed potato. Okay. And I chose a Parmesan cheese to put into this recipe. You don't have to do that. It's totally up to you, your preference, but I think a mozzarella or any other kind of cheese would be good. Or a cheddar cheese. Actually, a cheddar cheese would be really nice.
Oh yeah, that would be really good.
Yes. And I'm all about fresh Parmesan cheese. I don't know about you, but
Oh yeah.
at
Any
home,
kind
I
of
don't
cheese
know.
in general, it's good.
You're a cheese person?
Yes.
Yes.
Cheese and crackers and stuff like that.
I know, we were
Love
just
it.
talking about having, maybe a glass of wine,
Oh, yeah.
like with some cheese and crackers. So nice. Okay. All right, so looking here. All right, so what I want to do is just add some Parmesan cheese. Okay. I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. And I'm also going to add, see, we're doing less dishes. That's always nice, right?
Yep. I like it.
Okay, so I'm also going to add some thyme here, about a half a teaspoon of thyme. Just a little bit of salt. And then about another half teaspoon of pepper. Give it another stir. And again, if you're watching your sodium intake, you don't have to add that the salt in there. Again, it's totally up to you. And like I said, I cut down a lot on the cheese that I was using, so that way it's a little bit lower in salt anyway. Okay. All right. So we got our, almost looks like mashed potatoes, and then we're just going to top it just a little bit with some cheese. Okay. And then this is going to go in the oven for about 30 minutes. And how easy was that, right?
That was
didn't
really
take much
easy.
time. I mean, the hardest part is probably just pureeing it, but then after that, it's
putting it all together,
pie. Yes. Okay, done.
All right, so we're going to start off with the quinoa here. So I've actually already made this for timing purposes, but what I did was bring 2 cups of water to a boil. Once I boiled it, I had rinsed off my quinoa, a cup of quinoa. I've added it in here, let it come back to a boil, and then covered it, put it on low, and then cooked it for about 12 to 15 minutes. So this is just cooling down now. I'm actually going to chop up 2 leaves of kale that we're going to add into the quinoa. I've already destemmed them, cleaned them off, so I'm going to add those in here. Do you have a big spoon over there that I can kind of...
A big spoon.
I think it's right in that drawer right underneath you.
Sure.
There might be a serving spoon.
To mix everything?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let's see here.
If not, I can just... That's okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the quinoa. That's okay, I'm all set.
Oh, you're back?
Yep, I can go use this. So I'm going to add the quinoa here. So it's still warm. So we're going to add the quinoa here. And then I'm just gonna put this off to the side.
Yep.
I'm going to add in the kale. And we're gonna let the kale get nice and wilted. So I'm gonna mix this up. And then what I'm gonna do with this is kind of set it aside. So we've got some little pieces here after I've mixed it.
And quinoa is becoming very popular now, very popular. It's a whole grain, but it's also, if anybody has celiac disease or if they have a hard time with gluten or if they're gluten intolerant, quinoa is a great alternative.
Yes, it is gluten-free, so. Okay, so there's two more things that we're gonna work on this recipe. So we're gonna do first our cranberry portion of it. So I'm going to add 2 cups of cranberries to our NutriBullet. So we're gonna use a NutriBullet for this one because it's a smaller portion. So we really didn't need, as all the cranberries are falling all over the place. So I'm gonna add 2 cups of cranberries here. I was having this problem earlier today too. I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. I'm going a little Rachel Ray there.
I know, I thought the same thing.
So we'll add that in here. So
Heart healthy fats.
yes.
Very good.
And then I'm going to add in a teaspoon of honey. And what the teaspoon of honey is going to do is going to kick out some of the tartness in the cranberries. So put in a little here.
You know, and if someone
little
is
bit extra in there.
diabetic, you know, if you didn't want to use honey, you could use agave nectar because that's lower in the glycemic index. Again, not something that you want to go crazy and pour a ton over, you know, but a teaspoon here and there is good.
All right, so I'm just going to put this in the NutriBullet and just chop it up a little bit. It's coarsely chopped, or kind of whatever your preference. You're gonna have to shake it around a little bit. You know how the NutriBullet works. You're gonna move things around. Well, now I have all the cranberry mixture chopped up here. So now I'm going to go over to the orange, and I'm going to zest in 2 tablespoons of orange zest into the quinoa and the kale. So I'm going to actually give you a couple oranges to peel because we're going to be adding some oranges in there. And I'm going to zest the orange. Move some of this kale off to the side. And this is going to add another little bit of, the oranges will add another little bit of sweetness to compensate for the tartness of the cranberries. So
Very good. And color as well.
exactly.
It's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be a really beautiful, beautiful dish.
Right, and it's something different too. Normally,
I know.
some people like to use a cranberry relish. My family personally doesn't do that, but this is a nice alternative to a cranberry relish.
Yep. You know, and some people don't know what to use quinoa for. But I mean, you can think of it kind of like couscous, or think of it like rice, you know, that you can make it into any kind of pasta dish. You know, and that's pretty much what we're doing here. We're doing a side pasta type dish. But if you're vegetarian, you can actually count quinoa in as part of your protein because it's
a good source of-
nutritionally
right.
equivalent to eating an egg, which is pretty cool. It's very unique in that aspect.
All right, so I have enough orange zest here.
Okay.
I'm going to add it in to the kale. If you don't mind just taking these.
You want me to peel that other one too?
Yes.
Sure.
And let's see, I'm gonna add in, I'm gonna roughly chop these oranges. So I'm gonna pull these apart a little bit. And we use a nice clementine orange, but you can use any kind of orange you'd like. So I like clementines because they're on the sweeter side.
And easy to peel.
Yes, they are.
We've got enough to do on Thanksgiving. Last thing we want to do is peel a ton of oranges. Take forever, you know?
All right, pulling them apart and I'm chopping them in half. So nice little bite-sized pieces here.
Pretty much, I think, you know, the hardest part with this dish is probably just making the quinoa.
Yeah, it really is a very easy dish. You're just basically making the quinoa and then adding things to it. So,
You know, and for those of you who are new with cooking quinoa.
Thank you.
One rule of thumb that I like to say is make sure that you rinse it first before you cook it, only because it can tend to have a little bit of a bitter taste to it. And that just has to do with the shell that covers the quinoa. But if you rinse it, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
All right, so I just have one more orange to cut over here.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's just now we're just kind of building upon the basic quinoa and the kale mixture. So we have our oranges. Actually, a lot of orange here. They said we used about 6 oranges, and we used the zest of 2 of them. So I'm gonna add this.
It smells
you smell all the
though.
citrus, you know.
It smells really good.
All right. So if you want to mix that up for me, there's a little
Sure.
spoon here. I'm going to add in the cranberry mixture. Now that my hands are all slimy.
We're supposed to get messy in the kitchen,
I
right?
should grab a towel.
So here
All
I
right,
am.
so now that Steph is mixing the orange zest then with the kale and the quinoa, I'm going to add in the cranberry, honey, and extra virgin olive oil mixture, little relish, I guess you can say.
That's so beautiful.
And it's so colorful too, and they always say you always want to eat the rainbow. So we have red, orange, yellow, we can say for the quinoa, green for the kale. So we have a lot of our rainbow colors here. And then we're going to be adding in some mint, which I'm going to chop up really quickly.
I love the smell of mint. I do. It's like one of my favorites.
Oh, I know. It smells delicious. Oh, you can smell it already. So I'm taking some off the sprigs here, and I'm just going to chop some up.
You know, a lot of our dishes that we have on Thanksgiving, you know, they've got a lot of gravy, they've got a lot of butter and cream
high in
and
fat.
all of that, you know, and this recipe doesn't have that, you know.
No.
But it's got a lot of color, it's got a lot of flavor, you know, and it's so good for you too.
Right.
So good for you.
Really smell that mint.
I know, it smells wonderful.
Trying to chop these up.
Hey, if you have any leftover mint, you know, you can make some kind of drink with cranberries and mint.
Yeah, or
and,
you do like
know,
something
seltzer
chocolatey
water.
or something.
Ooh.
And then add the mint in. All right, so I've added about a 1/4 cup of mint here.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of mixed nuts. You can choose whatever you'd like. You can, if you like walnuts or you like cashews or just almonds, you can do anything you like. But we chose the mixed nuts here. And that will just give a little extra
Bit of
crunch to the meal. And then we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of pomegranate seeds as well.
How convenient is that?
I know, right out of the package here. So there
Because
you
that
go.
can be kind of time consuming too. And again, you don't want to have too much to do on Thanksgiving. You got enough
Exactly.
going on.
So it's nice because this is something that frees up your oven as soon as you cook down the quinoa. You can push it off to the side and assemble everything off while everything else is going in the oven.
See?
So very simple, easy dish that you just have to kind of make your extra cranberry sauce and your orange stuff off to on the side and then throw it all in together. So this is the completed meal.
I know, how nice. And now we get to try it. See, look how easy, that was so fast.
Yeah.
Again, the most difficult thing of that is just cooking the quinoa. And the same thing, you know, like with mine, once it's steamed, all you gotta do is puree it and then it's all done, you know?
All right.
Okay, let's move this out of the way. Now we get to taste it.
All right. Move all this off to the side.
Okay. And like I said too, you know, for mine, if you wanted to put it in the broiler, you could. You know, if you wanted to get a little bit of that crispy brown cheese on top, you know. Okay. Okay.
It's delicious.
We are ready for Thanksgiving. Cheesy.
All right. Put a little bit of this on here for you.
Oh, it looks so good.
So colorful, so colorful.
Wow.
And so healthy for you too.
have a fork over there, Jess.
There you go, my fork. This in here.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. Wow, that's really good.
There's so much flavor in here. So much flavor, and we really didn't have to add a ton to it. So good.
I love nuts in them.
It's so fresh.
Oh, it is. Yeah, definitely. Very good. And you would serve this
so
at
fresh.
cold or room temperature, however you'd like to serve it for the quinoa salad. So, all
And
right.
I really like the oranges added in there because it adds a really nice sweetness to the dish.
Yes,
to
definitely. If it
offset
was just the cranberries, it would be a little too tart, I think. So, with the honey and the oranges, and makes a good balance. So,
Very good.
all right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on our next episode. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.